Shove it, man! Alright, it's the master of the smack attack. Listen good to your girl when I'm in the sack. Today on Ring at the Hawk, the show where we watch back a wrestler's short run with a company and shove them a final grade, it's going to be another lady. Today's video is also a Patreon request by Angeli. If you want to make the Hawk talk, sign up today. And of course, if you know a wrestler who could do the JOB to the HAWK, shove their name down in the comments, Jack! Okay, it's Nidia. Will this be my worst ever video? Nidia, of course, rose to fame when she became the co-winner of Tough Enough Season 1 alongside a man called Maven. Yeah, he wasn't the only winner of that season, although it sure feels that way nowadays. Nidia debuts as the ex-girlfriend of the Hurricane. Wow, lofty beginnings for her. Is this before or after Mighty Molly? Hurricane sure got around, hence the name. He isn't interested in her anymore, so she just introduces her new boyfriend, who is Jamie Noble, also making his debut. They're going to be a wacky trailer trash couple. Match 1, mixed tag, Noble and Nidia versus Kidman and Wilson. As you will find with any of these sort of matches, there isn't going to be a whole lot of wrestling. More likely to see somebody get an ass slap special. Tori executes the grand total of one move with a neckbreaker before Noble distracts her and grabs her foot. Nidia rolls her up, and just like that, it's it. It's an S. Match 2, Tori Wilson versus Nidia. I have to say, Nidia does have bags of confidence, like she's been on telly for years. The wrestling does not look like she's been on telly for years. Tori almost beats her with a catapult into the corner into a roll-up. Nidia comes back with a DDT, which actually doesn't look that bad. Nidia no-sells a jawbreaker and she hits a clothesline for a 2. Tori shuts her down with a stun gun and a snap suplex. Noble keeps causing distractions. Nidia takes him out by mistake. This distracts the referee. Tori looks to close in on a win with a neckbreaker. Noble scrambles into the ring and he clotheslines Tori. That gets Nidia the free. Not much to say except her character work and confidence is good. It's a D. Nidia and Noble are actually all over the show with their trailer trash gimmick, and she sure isn't shy. Match 3, women's title. Okay, not sure how she earned a title shot, but whatever. Nidia versus the champion Molly Holly. Okay, it's time to see what Nidia is made of. Molly scores the first knockdown with a fireman's carry. Nidia regains her focus by sticking her chewing gum to the ring pole. It doesn't help her and Molly knocks her down again. Noble grabs Molly's legs, which allows Nidia to make 3 pinning attempts. None of them actually work. Molly drops her on the turnbuckle to shut her up. Again, Nidia almost rolls her up. Trailer Trash moves on to catapult Molly into the corner and almost rolls her up again. She also does some hair takedowns. Molly desperately tries to come back but misses, and Nidia hits a DDT for a 2. Nidia puts her on the top rope, which turns out to be a bad decision because Molly fights her off and hits the Molly Go Round for the 3. Better than I expected, and Nidia isn't too worried because she almost takes her clothes off to celebrate a loss here. Molly stops her though. It's a C, not too bad. Match 4, here we go again. Tori Wilson versus Nidia, who looks all business tonight. Tori baseball slides her before the bell. Nidia instantly clotheslines her down for a 2. Tori gets her own 2 off a scoop slam. Nidia stops her with a jawbreaker. This match feels horrible and slow after watching the last one. I have no idea what they were doing here except running everywhere and looking clumsy. Out of nowhere, Tori hits a neckbreaker and it's over. It's an S, not a good showing. Match 5, mixed tag. Tori Wilson. Never thought I'd complain about seeing this woman, but we just aren't going to get a good showing from Nidia against her. She teams with Rey Mysterio to take on Noble and Nidia. The match starts with a slap and a catfight. Tori kicks her and hits the neckbreaker. Unlike the last match, this was just a 2. Nidia suplexes her back and tags out. Not much is happening except Nidia running lots of distractions for Noble. Tori gives Nidia a Bronco Buster. Noble wants her to give him one too, but doesn't get it in the way that he wanted. Mysterio wins with a code red. It's an S. Match 6, Jamie Noble versus Nidia with special referee Tajiri. This is apparently the first ever girlfriend versus boyfriend match. Noble pushes her down straight away, but Nidia isn't hurt and she boots his nutsack. She has a lots of aggression, but she isn't strong enough and Noble slams her down. She tries to offer her a way out of this match, but she doesn't want it and almost rolls him up. Noble double legs her and they sort of catfight. Nidia gets another 2 count before hitting a drop toe hold and a drop kick. Noble blocks the next drop kick and he keeps trying to get her to call off the match. After 2 minutes, he just sits on her for the 3. Nidia smacks out Tajiri and Noble comes to her save, so they're friends again. Quite entertaining. It's a C. Match 7, mixed tag. Tori Wilson and Kidman versus Noble and Nidia. Unlike other mixed tag matches, the women are almost not involved at all. Nidia thinks she can beat up Kidman, but she fails and Tori has the tag. Tori's all over her until Nidia grabs her eyelash and Nidia takes her down by her haircut. A scoop slam gets Nidia a 2 count, but she breaks her own pin-up. Tori tries a sunset flip, which Nidia reverses and sits on her face for a 2. Tori manages to come back with the net breaker of doom and a hopping, skipping, bouncing dropkick for a 2. Tori ends up getting distracted by Noble. The ref is more interested in Kidman and Noble sneaks into the ring and he clotheslines Tori. Nidia and Tori both tag out. She does return, but it doesn't go well for her because Tori seems to have her number. Kidman beats Noble with a shooting star. It's an S. Match 8. Paddle on a pole match. No, Tori Wilson. Okay, it's official. Ring of the Hawk has beaten and destroyed me. I just complained about Tori Wilson in a paddle match. What the hell is wrong with the Hawk? Smack me of a brick. Basically, Nidia is useless. Tori is out here fighting 3 people and actually doing okay. Jamie Noble comes into the match and hits a bad snap slam on Tori. Nidia gets the paddle and she wins. We all know what the highlight is here, but even that turns out to disappoint due to Funaki. It's an S, please can we get her away from Tori. Match 9, mixed tag. This is getting worse and worse. Tori Wilson and Funaki versus Noble and Nidia. Will anything actually improve here? Soon we're going to be 10 matches deep with only 1 passable match so far. Nidia fights with Funaki and she hits a leg drop, which is something new, and a double stomp, which she's very proud of. Funaki is fine though and he catapults the white trash together. Nothing happens for a while until Nidia tries a top rope splash on Funaki, which misses. Tori gets the tag and it's just bad. Even a simple throw across the ring looks awkward. They keep teasing a move out of the corner in their matches, but it never seems to happen. Tori hits a Russian leg sweep and even the cover sucks. Dawn Marie appears on the apron, but Tori deals with her by sending Nidia into her, and Tori gets the roll-up win as usual. This is bad, man, bad. No athleticism, no fun moves. Nothing that barely even resembles a match. I'd be more surprised if we have anything above a D for the rest of this run. Match 10. Tori Wilson, you have to be kidding me. Literally anyone else but her. I have no chance of working out if Nidia can do anything in these matches because they're all 2-minute piss breaks. Nidia jumps her before the bell so she can pose. She is jealous of Tori featuring in a certain famous magazine. Randomly, Nidia fetches a steel chair which Tori baseball slides into her face, surprisingly just a 2. Tori keeps chopping her in the back, which at least is something new. Jamie eventually trips her up so Nidia can hit a basement dropkick for a 2. Nidia isn't sure how to follow up on that and keeps throwing Tori's face into the mat. Tori stops Nidia in the corner and she hits the neck breaker of doom. Noble runs a distraction again. When Tori turns around, Nidia almost beats her with a small package. Nidia has no moves left, so Tori puts away with a tornado DDT. 10 matches and they're all exactly the same. She doesn't look remotely close to being able to win a proper match. What's her finisher? What's her fighting style? What's the point? Match 11, mixed tag. I'm dying. Torture Wilson and Brian Kendrick versus Noble and Nidia. This would be so much better if it was just the men fighting. Look at this corner suplex from Noble to Kendrick. Why are they doing this in a match like this? Anyway, Nidia is tagged in against Kendrick and she hits a dropkick for a 2. Nobody seems to know if the men are supposed to be fighting the women here. She leaves. So far, the women being here is completely pointless. Noble tries to throw Nidia into a splash on Kendrick, which misses and Tori is tagged. She clotheslines Nidia and catapults her into the corner. It shows how little wrestling quality mattered back then because this crowd are coming in glued for Tori. She almost wins off a Russian leg sweep. She almost wins again off the net breaker with Noble making the save. Nidia does manage to take out Kendrick, but Tori is the real final boss here. Nidia takes out her own boyfriend with a crossbody and Tori beats Nidia with a jumping DDT. It's funny how fashions come back around. Sable is out here dressing almost 2 decades earlier than girls nowadays. What a trendsetter. It's a D. I enjoyed her putting her body on the line, but why can't Nidia just beat Tori for a change? Match 12. Tori Wilson, you've got to be kidding the Hawk. Sable being the ref makes literally no difference. In fact, it's actually worse because there's even less focus on Nidia now. Poor Nidia, she just has no chance in a match where the focus is on anything but the wrestling. Nidia pulls out a new move here with a Northern Light suplex, but we all know it's pointless. Tori hits a crossbody which sums this match up. Nidia and Tori botch a back body drop, but unfortunately this match isn't over. The Tornado DDT does end the match for Nidia. Now stop making them have matches, otherwise the Hawk will completely lose the plot. It's an S. Match 13, tag match. Nidia teams with Dawn Marie. Oh, that's nice, it's someone different. And they take on Tori Wilson. Screw this! Sable walks out on the match. Presumably, so Nidia and Tori can have more matches. Oh, so Dawn Marie can beat Tori, but Nidia can't? Seems fair. She did nothing, it's an S. Match 14. Oh god. Just what we needed. More Torture Wilson versus Nidia. Well, to my complete shock, Nidia finally gets her win here. only because Tori screws up her own knee and Jamie Noble is attacking Tori too. Nidia wins with a roll-up. Despite winning, Tori does get the last laugh though. It sure doesn't feel like a win, it's yet another S. Match 15, mixed tag. Oh, what a surprise. Torture Wilson teams up with Rikishi on Team Booty versus Nidia and Noble. Something just has to change here. 15 matches and we may as well be 3 deep. Nidia slaps Rikishi, which is a bad decision. Tori attacks her and they're just dancing and skating around in circles like a cat on acid on an ice rink. She almost gets a stink face from Rikishi but manages to scream and run away. Nidia begs Rikishi to tag Tori. He does that. Nidia can't do a thing though. She hits a second rope crossbody and she starts crying after a snap mirror from Rikishi. Nidia does end up taking the stink face eventually from Rikishi and then Tori puts her away with a net breaker. I feel like my neck's been broken in this video. Whilst the wrestling isn't really changing, the gimmick actually is, because Nidia and Noble are now rich since inheriting money. Match 16, mixed tag, the ass man and the ass woman versus Noble and Nidia. It seems that money can't buy you happiness, or a win against Tori in Nidia's case. Noble's money is also no good when he offers Tori 10,000 to sleep with him, and that causes tension between Noble and Nidia. Match 17. Well, this one's a complete turn up for the books. 2-on-1 handicap match. Torrid Wilson and Nidia team up to take on Shaniqua. They send the big Amazon out the ring and hit a stereo baseball slide, but on her own, Nidia is useless, and she's smashed with a snap slam. Shaniqua loses her attention and Nidia comes close to getting the roll-up win, but it's not enough and Shaniqua starts dominating. She slams Tori on top of Nidia. Tori is sent out the ring and Shaniqua beats Nidia with a powerbomb. Well, that went well. The gimmick actually expands further at this point as Nidia starts a blinded gimmick. This happened after Tajiri sprayed her with an extra rare black mist, which must be toxic when it's this colour. This leads to Jamie Noble taking advantage of Nidia during his matches and using her as a shield because she was blind and didn't know what her boyfriend was up to. Match 18, number 1 contenders match for the Cruiserweight title. Tajiri versus Nidia. It's supposed to be Noble, but he's failed to turn up and Heyman has forced Nidia to take his place. What a dick. He even takes her cane away as he views that as a weapon. Tajiri drops her to the mat. He's having a great time in there hitting arm drags and ringers. It only goes about a minute and Tajiri beats her with a Russian leg sweep. It's a D because she did do a good job garnering sympathy. After a couple of months, Nidia screws Noble and shows that she's finally figured out that he's using her. So Noble is now a heel and Nidia has turned face. Match 19, No Way Out 2004, Blindfold matches. Jamie Noble versus Nidia on her first pay-per-view outing and she's against a man with a hood over his head. Nidia keeps hiding from him. She eventually trips him up and climbs into the ring to hit a dropkick. She keeps bouncing up and down trying to trick him. This crowd sounds restless. He motions that he's going to grab her udders, whilst Nidia just stands frozen like a dumbass. He doesn't grab them though and he moves on, and Nidia pulls his knickers down. She actually hits a bulldog here for a 2. Jamie almost picks her leg, but Nidia manages to head scissors him away and out the ring, and she slides him too. This is painfully slow, but it's still better than anything else we've seen. Nidia follows him around, air spanking and humping him. Noble's boiling with rage in his knickers at this point. Noble does manage to grab a handful of her hair before Nidia drop toe holds him onto the ropes. She kicks him away and climbs to the top. Noble eventually cheats and takes his hood off. He throws Nidia off the top and puts on a dragon sleeper for the tap out win. It might feel like a complete waste of time, but there's precious little to choose from in this video and Nidia tried her hardest to make this fun, so it's a C. At this point, Nidia is drafted to Raw to end that storyline. And end her matches with Torrid Wilson as well, thank God for that. Match 20. Nidia. Man, this attire just isn't working for her. It doesn't look memorable or stand out. She takes on Molly Holly, and at this point it sounds like we've almost come full circle. Molly takes her down by the arm straight away. Nidia manages to nip up, but she gets stuck on the apron and thrown into the ring pole. I actually quite like that spot. Back in the ring, Molly hits a dropkick in front of this silent crowd. Molly goes back to the arm offense. Nidia eventually dodges her and rolls her up for a 2. She catapults Molly into the corner, and when Molly turns around, she gets a Northern Light suplex. Molly drops her back on her arm to shut her up. Nidia pulls off Molly's wig to confuse her, and then Nidia gets a roll-up win. Nah, this sucked. There was nothing to really make you want to see more of Nidia here. She might have got the win, but it was still completely forgettable. It's an S. Match 21, Battle Royal. You couldn't make it up. The match starts, it goes to an advert break, we come back, and Nidia is already gone. Possibly the worst match in Ring of the Hawk history. Match 22, 6 women's tag, Victoria, Stacey and Nidia. Well, at least she's changed up her look. They take on Molly, Jazz and Gail Kim. That is 3 miserable bitches right there. This is a complete dud. Nidia isn't even tagged into this match at all and Gail Kim taps out Victoria. Match 23, tag match, Stacey Keeper and Nidia. Can they please do something to give us a reason to care about Nidia on Raw? They take on Gail Kim and Molly Ollie. Nidia doing arm drags is the most we've seen in like forever. She also hits Gail with a back body drop and a drop kick before Gail tags out. It doesn't go so well against Molly and Nidia has to tag out. Stacey wrestles most of this match. Nidia may as well not exist at this point. After a very long time we get a double down, but Stacey still can't tag out. Gail locks on a brutal submission and Stacey taps out. Once again, what was the point of Nidia being here? I thought the Smackdown run wasn't that great, but at least she had a purpose being there. At least the crowd sort of cared. I'd be surprised if people even know who Nidia is on Raw, especially with the new look. Match 24. Three-way pole dancing match for the #1 contendership for the women's belt. Victoria versus Molly versus Nidia. Nobody gets an entrance. Nidia has changed her attire once again and she looks like she's trying to be Stone Cold's wife or something. It just doesn't suit her. Nidia and Molly both try to climb to the top. Molly falls and Victoria kicks Nidia down, followed straight after by a somersault leg drop from Victoria. Nidia does recover, but she runs straight into a Victoria snap slam. Molly throws her into the pole again to get rid of her. Molly and Victoria seem to have forgotten that Nidia exists. This pole looks like it's going to collapse at any minute. Randomly, Nidia climbs the pole and wins. Well, I guess this is the start of her big push on Raw. She did nothing except scramble up a pole, but she is now the #1 contender. And wow, is she the queen of pole matches or what? 2 pole matches, undefeated. Match 25, women's title match, straight after the last match. You couldn't make it up. Trish decks Nidia with her cast, and the ref is a dick and rings the bell, and Trish pins her for the 3. It went 3 seconds. It must surely rival the speed of Aaliyah's victory over Natalya on the last video. It's laughably bad. Match 26, 6 women's tags, Stacey, Nidia and Victoria versus Molly, Jazz and Gail Kim. Give me a break, we've already had this match. What a strange match too. After not being tagged in the entire match, she gets the tag against Molly. She takes her out of a back elbow. Jazz gets hit with a flapjack and Molly with a net breaker. The pin is broken up, but it doesn't matter anyway as Nidia just double legs Molly and makes the pin for the 3. Why give us some hope? You're clearly not going to do anything with Nidia at this point. A D for what it's worth. Match 27, tag match. Trish Stratus and Gail Kim versus Victoria and Nidia. I think she's having an identity crisis. Nidia to start with Trish. Hopefully this lasts longer than 3 seconds of heaven that we got last time. It does. Trish drags her down by the haircut and punches her in the face. She gets a kick to the ribs and tags Gail. Gail clotheslines her. Nidia gets isolated. Shocked. I don't think I've said that this whole video. The heels try to double team her when she manages to turn it around with a double monkey flip and tags Victoria. Gail looks like she's going to make Victoria tap when a strange man in a wig falls down the ramp. Rightfully, this distracts Gail and Victoria rolls her up for the win. Nidia was there, but other than the monkey flip, I remember nothing. It's an S. Nidia now starts a new gimmick. She is now a fiery Latina. How exciting. Match 28, Trish Stratus versus Nidia. Nidia hits some fiery shoulders in the corner. She yells Spanish at Trish whilst looking like she wants to bed her. Trish sends her out the ring to calm her down and kicks her again. Nothing really seems to be happening, it's just Trish slowly working her over. Nidia reverses Stratusfaction into a 2-count roll-up. She does manage to hit a clothesline and a Northern Light suplex for a 2. She moves on to attempt 10 punches in the corner, but unfortunately Nidia has a wardrobe malfunction. Nidia is busy trying to adjust herself when Trish just kicks her head off for the 3, a D. Match 29, Nidia, Stacey and Victoria versus Gail, Molly and Trish yet again. Nidia is actually very involved with this one. She's isolated for ages. She manages to hit a diving crossbody before Trish shuts her down for Spinebuster. After a very long time, Nidia hits the swinging net breaker, shades of the great Torrid Wilson. To be fair, everything looks good here and Stacey wins with a roll up on Molly, it's a D. Match 30. The exact same match with the exact same people. The only difference is Victoria wins. It's an S. Match 31. Final match. Women's title. Taboo Tuesday 2004. Schoolgirl Battle Royal. What a final match to have. And she's the first one eliminated. Game over. Why do men fantasize about women dressing up as schoolgirls? It always just seemed a bit wrong in my head. Other than a couple of overseas indie appearances, Nidia retired from wrestling. Well, what do you think, guys? As a character on Smackdown, I think she did play her part well. You've got to remember, she was as green as grass, so it's positive that her character overshadowed her wrestling. She made what she could out of it. And from what I saw, her wrestling wasn't even that bad. She just didn't really try to expand and improve. She never tried anything difficult. Her run on Raw was a complete failure though. They just gave up on her since she arrived. The problem is, once the trailer park gimmick was done, she was just another girl, and there were so many more Barbie girl looking girls that she had no chance to stand out. I think her Smackdown run was passable, which is the only reason she's going to avoid the shove it zone tonight. I actually think it'll be a Heidi as well, because she was pretty likeable and more memorable than some of the blink and you miss at Divas of the time. And if you don't agree with that, screw you, I won't rhyme.